Good morning, friends. How are you all? So, in our last lecture, we discussed constitutional provisions dealing with the our office of president. So, in our today's lecture, I will go with the office of vice president. Okay, so all the constitutional provisions that are relevant for the post of president. So, if you have your Bear Act with you, mind that we are going to discuss today Article 63 to Article 71 of our Indian Constitution. So, if you have your Bear Act, please reach the relevant page. Okay, so see, don't get an no a wrong idea that I'm just reading the Bear Act or the way I'm doing it. See, the best way to understand constitutional law is through its articles only, because the language that has been used is not very hard. So what approach I'm taking is that I am reading the provision and telling you each and every aspect of that article there and then and there. So the easy thing is that in future when you just look at the Bear Act, you will be able to remember. So if I make a separate PPT on this thing, so you will be lost after a time. Like for the time being, you will be fine. Okay, these are the powers of president, vice president. But where are they mentioned? Because it is not easy to locate. Remember that Article 63 was that or no. But when you read from the Bear Act itself and you try to understand its meaning in meaning of all the clauses, so it's embedded in your mind that this is that provision of the Constitution. So that is why, while explaining the law, I am using this Bear Act so that a clear understanding of the provision is created, and that understanding is permanent, not temporary. Okay, so don't take shortcuts. It is also a shortcut. Okay, understand. Okay, if you give 30-40 minutes to this video, you will be understanding each and every aspect of as far as the office of vice president is concerned in our today's lecture. Okay, so let's start with it. Article 6, the first article that is relevant, and from where uh, the provisions dealing with the office of vice president starts, is Article 63. So Article 63 says the vice president of India. Okay, Article 63 provides for the post of vice president of India. It says there shall be a vice president of India. Okay, so it is a simple provision. It is establishing the office of vice president. Okay, and in the case of president, it was done by Article 52. And as Article 52 establishes the office of president, and Article 63 establishes the office of vice president. As simple as that. It is an obligation. But it has been made an obligation by the constitution maker themselves that there shall be an office of vice president. So this office of vice president is not now within the whims and caprice of the union government to establish or not. It is there. It has to be there at all times. Next important article for vice president is Article 64. The vice president to be ex officio chairman of the councils of states. Council of state means the Rajya Sabha. Okay, this is the most crucial job, most crucial function that a particular vice president perform. What is that function? That he sits as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, Article 64 reads, the vice president shall be ex officio chairman of the council of the state and shall not hold any other office of profit. Okay, so the first thing is that he will be ex officio chairman. So as far as the chairman of Rajya Sabha is concerned, who it is the vice president. And as far as the speaker of Lok Sabha is concerned, it is appointed from within the members of Lok Sabha. Okay, so there is no rule that this particular post will be the speaker of Lok Sabha, but in case of chairman of Rajya Sabha, that particular post is vice president. Okay, and as far as the latter part of the first provision is concerned, that he shall not hold any other office of profit, that we discussed yesterday also. What is an office of profit? So as far as when we were discussing the provision of the regarding the president, we came to know that office of profits means any office of profit under the union government or the state government or any local or other authority. But as far as the provision on vice president is concerned, a simple term is used, that any other office of profit. So if a particular person is holding any office of profit where he is getting some benefits, it is not necessary that he should only be getting a particular salary. If he is getting other benefits also, okay, other privileges, so that may be counted as a your salary toward that job, and that particular profession or occupation may be counted as an office of profit. So this person who is the vice president of India, and who is as a natural consequence ex officio chairman of the council of state, shall not hold any office of profit. Okay, provided that during any period when the vice president acts as president or discharges the functions of the president under Article 65, he shall not perform the duties of the office of chairman of the Council of States, and shall not be entitled to any salary or allowance payable to the chairman of the Council of States under Article 97. Very simple provision. The proviso to the Article 64, what it said, that the vice president shall be the ex officio chairman. Okay, but the proviso provides that, see, the second most important function of a vice president is to hold the post of president when the president is not available for whatever reason, for reason of death, for reason of resignation, or for, okay, for whatever reason. If the president is not available, it is a main obligation of the vice president to take over that office. So the proviso simply says, if such a consequence is arising and the vice president is holding the post of president, during that period he will not sit as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and he will not be entitled to any of the benefits that he was getting when he was the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so a temporary bar has been provided against vice president to hold the office of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha and to receive benefits arising therefrom, and until and unless he is holding the office of the president in his absence. So Article 65 provides that when the vice president takes over the office of president, Article 65 reads, the vice president to act as president or to discharge his functions during casual vacancies in the office or during the absence of president. Okay. Sub-Article 1 reads, in the event of the occurrence of any vacancy in the office of the president by reason of his death, resignation, or removal, or otherwise, the vice president shall act as president until the date on which a new president elected in accordance with the provisions of this chapter to fill such vacancy enters upon his office. Okay, so sub-article 1 simply says that whenever the president is not available for three reasons. What are these reasons? That he has died, okay, and he has given resignation to the vice president, or he has been removed by process of impeachment, or if there is any other reason except for the reason that his term has expired, except for this reason, if there is any other reason also, then the vice president will take over the office of the president, okay, until and unless a new president comes in. Okay, so death, resignation, or removal, or even other cases. But only the only exception is that when the term of the president, natural term of the president expires, so it is obvious, it is an obligation of the provided in the constitution that election for a new president has to be held before the expiry of the term of the existing president. So there may not arise any vacancy during the because of the end of the term. So in that case, the vice president does not take over the office of president, but in all other cases, it is the vice president who takes over the office of the president in case of vacancy. Sub-Article 2. When the President is unable to discharge his functions owing to absence, illness, or any other cause, the President shall discharge his function until the date on which the President resumes his duty. Okay. So what is the difference between Sub-Article 1 and Sub-Article 2 is, Sub-Article 1 provides for permanent going out of the president, that he has died so he can't come back, he has resigned so he can't come back, he has been removed so he can't come back. So this was the permanent going out of the president, and vice president taking over until a new president comes in. But as far as sub-article 2 is concerned, it is for a temporary absence of the president, and these temporary absence of the president may be because of that that he is ill, or there is some other reason for which he is absent. So during that period, for which that the existing president is not available and he will come back after some time, during that period, it is the vice president who will discharge the office of the performance of functions of the president. Sub-article 3. The vice president shall, during and in respect of the period while he is so acting as or discharging the function of president, have all the powers and immunities of the president, and be entitled to such emoluments, allowances, privileges as may be determined by president by law, and until such provision is in that behalf is so made, such emoluments, allowance, and privileges as are specified in the second schedule. See, very simple. As far as, if you remember, Article 64, the proviso said that when the vice president is holding the office of the president, he will not be entitled to sit as a chairman of a Rajya Sabha, and he will not be entitled to any benefits which were arising because he was holding that post. But Article 65, sub Article 3 says, so he has been taken out of the benefits which he was receiving because he was the president. So while he is holding the office of president, all the benefits that are given to a president of India shall be given to the vice president. So instead of getting all the privileges and benefits which he was holding as a vice president, he will get all the benefits which he is entitled because he is holding the office of the president for the time. Okay, so the benefits of vice presidents have been taken out, and the benefits of the president have been given to the vice president who is temporarily holding the post of president of India. So this is Article 65. Okay, Article 66, very important article, election of vice president. Okay, how the election process will be function. Sub-Article 1. The Vice President shall be elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of the members of both the houses of parliament in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote, and the voting at such election shall be by secret ballot. Okay, so as we did this thing in our last lecture also, when we were discussing the provision of election of the president, so the process of election of the president and the vice president is almost same. Okay, in both cases it is an election by an electoral college. Okay, and it is a proportional representation system, not a, and this is an indirect election by secret ballot. Okay, I will tell you the meaning of all these terms. Okay, so in proportional representation, it is not the majoritarian rule that functions. That in our normal Lok Sabha elections, it is the person who votes, who gets the highest number of votes, that is elected. But in proportional representation, there is a different system. Okay, so there is this category: first preference, second preference, third preference. So what is the aim of the whole exercise is to that the person who is appointed gets like more than 50% of the votes. This is the aim. Okay, of this whole exercise of proportional representation. So in the case of election of president and vice president, proportional representation system is followed, and it is by the voting is by secret ballot, and it is an indirect voting. Okay, why we call it indirect voting? Because it is not the people generally, the normal public of India does not vote in the election of the president or vice president. It is the representative of the people who are sitting in state legislative assemblies of parliament who vote in that. So it is an indirect election. Okay, though the both the post of president, vice president are elected post, elected vote. That's why India is called a republic, because the head of the state, that is the president, is elected by people, but he is elected indirectly. Okay, and the voting is by secret ballot. Okay, so this is and the voting is done by electoral college. So what is this electoral college? This is the only difference between the election process of the president and vice president. As far as the election of president was concerned, this electoral college means the people who are going to vote in the election consisting of both the members of parliament and members of state legislative assemblies also. But as far as the election of the vice president is concerned, it is only the members of the parliament, members of Lok Sabha and members of Rajya Sabha who vote. Okay, so secret ballot to see this electoral college of the for the election of vice president is very small as in comparison to the president, because only the members of the parliament vote in the election of vice president. Okay, sub-article 2. The vice president shall not be a member of either house of the parliament or of a house of the legislature of any state. And if a member of either house of the parliament of a house of a legislature of any state be elected vice president, he shall be deemed to have vacated his seat in that house on the date on which he enters upon his office as vice president. This is the same provision that has been provided in the case of president also. Okay, sub article 2 simply says that when a particular person is appointed as a president, he will not be holding any ministerial post, or he will not be a member of parliament or member of any state legislative assembly. And even if he does not resign from that post explicitly, as soon as he enters upon the office of the vice president, it is deemed that he has resigned from the post that he was holding previously. As simple as that. Sub article 3. Sub article 3 provides no person shall be eligible for election as vice president. So these are the conditions for contesting the election of the president. Okay, that who are the persons who will be eligible for contesting for the post of vice president. Okay, so what are the conditions? No person shall be eligible for the election as vice president unless he, first condition, is a citizen of India. Okay, has completed the age of 35 years, and C, is qualified for the election as a member of Council of States. Okay, Rajya Sabha. So the qualifications for contesting the election of president and vice president are almost same. Both are required to be citizen of India, and both in both cases it is required that he must have completed the age of 35 years. But only the third condition is different in the cases of president and vice president. In the case of president, that person should be qualified for election to Lok Sabha. Okay, but in case of vice president, that person should be eligible for being a member of Rajya Sabha, okay, Council of State. This is the only difference between president and vice president, and the other two conditions of being citizen of India and 35 years of age are the same. Sub Article 4. A person shall not be eligible for election as vice president if he holds any office of profit under the government of India or the government of any state, or under any local or other authority subject to the control of the said government. Okay, simple. The same was provided in case of vice president also. Okay, so as far as sub-article 3 is concerned, it is provided for conditions which are prerequisite while contesting the elections. But as far as sub-article 4 is concerned, it is after a person is elected a president, and now he has to take oath of the post. So as far as sub-article 4, it says that the person who has won the election, in order to become the president or the vice president, he should not be holding any office of profit under the government of India or government of state or any local or other authority which are within the control of government of India or government of state. Okay, as simple as that. Explanation. For the purpose of this article, a person shall not be deemed to hold any office of profit by reason only that he is the president or vice president of the union or the governor or any state, or is a minister either for the union or for any state. Okay, so this is what I am saying, that though all the offices of profit are excluded, which falls within the government of India and government of the states, but exception has been created in case of four posts. It is the same as the case of president also. What are these four posts? That if he is already the president of India, he can contest for the election of vice president, and the office of profit bar will not come into force. If he is an existing vice president, he can again contest for the post of vice president. If he is a governor, he can go for the post of vice president. And if he is a minister either in the union government or in the state government of any state, then he can also contest for the post of vice president. But only condition is, was when he enters upon that office, he will be deemed to have vacated his earlier post. That was provided by sub article 2. Okay, so sub article 4 provided for bar of office of profit, and explanation excluded four kind of jobs. Article 67. Term of office of vice president. The vice president shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon office. The term on the duration of the office of the president is 5 years, provided that a vice president may by writing under his hand address to the president resign his office. Okay, see, president resigns to give his resignation to vice president, and president gives his resignation to president. Okay, so this is give and take relationship between president and vice president. Okay, so as far as vice president is concerned, he can resign from his post even before the expiry of this 5-year term by addressing a resignation to the to the president of India. B. A vice president may be removed from his office by a resolution of the Council of States passed by a majority of all the then members of the council and agreed to by the House of People. But no resolution for the purpose of this clause shall be moved unless at least 14 days notice has been given of the intention to move the resolution. See, as far as the provisions regarding removal are concerned, there is a crucial difference between the post of president and vice president. As far as the removal of president is concerned, it is very hard because the process of impeachment has been provided. As we discussed yesterday also, that the first house who is taking the charge, he has to first get the resolution signed by 1/4 of the members, then give a 2 months prior notice to the president. Then after, if he reaches the conclusion, then he has to pass that resolution by two-third of the majority of the total membership. Then it goes to the second house who investigate the charge, and that passes the resolution by two-third majority of the total membership of that house. So it is very, very hard. But as far as the removal of vice president is concerned, it is very easy. Okay, it is the Council of States which has been given the preemptive power in case of removal of the vice president. In order to remove the vice president, the only thing that the Council of States are required to do is that they need to pass a resolution by a simple majority. Okay, more than 50% of the votes of people presented voting. Okay, but the only condition that once the resolution has been passed by the Rajya Sabha, it will has to be agreed by the Lok Sabha also. Okay, by a simple majority. No rule of no absolute majority of two-thirds of total membership, as was the case with president. A simple resolution passed by the Rajya Sabha and agreed by the Lok Sabha. So it is always the Rajya Sabha, Council of State, who initiates the process of removal, and the role of the Lok Sabha is only to agreeing it. But in case of president, it was either of the house who can initiate the process, and the other house was bound to investigate the charge. Okay, so it was in the case of vice president, it is the Council of State that has been given the preemptive power, because it is the vice president who is the chairman of that house. So that is the reason of it. But the only condition that is imposed by clause B is that a 14 days notice has to be served before of moving that resolution. Okay, 14 days prior notice is required to be served on the vice president. Subclause 3, a vice president shall, notwithstanding the expiration of his term, continue to hold office until his successor enters upon his office. Okay, so though it may happen that the term of the term of 5 years of for the vice president, a particular vice president has expired, but he will continue in his office until his successor is appointed and comes and takes over the office. Okay, so that the office does not fall vacant at any time. This is subclause 3. Okay, now we will move forward to Article 68. Time of holding election to fill vacancy in the office of vice president and the term of office of person elected to fill casual vacancy. Sub-Article 1, an election to fill a vacancy caused by the expiration of the term of office of vice president shall be completed before the expiration of the term. So it has been provided that all the elections for a new vice president will be conducted before the expiry of the term of the existing vice president. So it is made an obligation, so that there is no so though there is though a security has been made by clause 3, that even if no successor is appointed and the term has expired, the existing vice president will continue to hold office until until his successor comes and takes over the office. But no such thing happens in the real situation. So for the reason that Article 68 makes it an obligation that the elections for the new vice president should be conducted before the expiry of the term of the existing vice president. Sub Article 2, an election to fill a vacancy in the office of vice president occurring by reason of his death, resignation, or removal, or otherwise shall be held as soon as possible after the occurrence of the vacancy, and the person elected to fill the vacancy shall, subject to the provision of Article 16, be entitled to hold office for the full term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. Very simple. So see, if the existing vice president has died, or he has been removed, or whatever has happened, okay, or he has resigned, so in all these cases a new election will be conducted within 6 months. Okay, and the new person who takes over the office of vice president shall hold his hold the office of president for the entire duration of 5 years, a normal term. Okay, it should not be misunderstood that he will only complete the remaining term of the existing vice president who has resigned or who has died. No, he will get his own 5 year term, complete 5 year term. Article 69 provides for oath or affirmation by the president. Every vice president shall, before entering upon his office, make and subscribe before the president or some person appointed at that behalf by him an oath or affirmation in the following form. Okay. So before entering the office of vice president, the particular person is required to take an oath, and who is the person who looks after the whole process of oath taking is the president. Okay. In case of vice president, it is the president who takes over the process of oath taking. But in case of president, it is the Chief Justice of India who takes over the who looks after the process of oath taking. Okay, but in case of vice president, it is the president of India. Article 70: discharge of president's function in other contingencies. Parliament makes such provision as it thinks fit for the discharge of the functions of the president in any contingency not provided in this chapter. Okay, this article 70 is not very important for the reason that for all the reasons that he has been removed from his office, that he has resigned, that he has died, or there was this thing, or in any other case, if a vacancy arises in the office of president, it is the vice president who takes over his office. So Article 70 is just a security. It says that if there is any other contingency also which is not covered by this constitution, so in that case, Parliament may make law that in case of such a contingency, who will be the person who will discharge the function of president. Okay, not very important. Okay, a very important article that is concerned is Article 71. Okay, matters relating to connected with the election of a president or vice president. Okay, sub-article 1: all doubts and disputes arising out of or in connection with the election of a president or vice president shall be inquired into and decided by the Supreme Court, whose decision shall be final. Okay, so in the case of any dispute, okay, so if any dispute arises in regard to the election of the president or vice president, it is the Supreme Court only the Supreme Court who has the power to, who has the jurisdiction over such matters. Okay, any dispute in regard to the election of the president and vice president, Supreme Court has the exclusive jurisdiction. Sub-article 2: if the election of a person as president or vice president is declared void by the Supreme Court, acts done by him in the exercise and performance of the powers and duties of the office of president or vice president, as the case may be, on or before the date of the decision of the Supreme Court, shall not be invalidated by reason of that declaration. So if a dispute arises and as a result of that, the Supreme Court reaches the conclusion that there was something wrong with the election and the election is void, but that does not mean that all the actions which that particular person has done as a president or as a vice president before the decision of the Supreme Court, that will not be invalidated. In fact, all those decisions or all those functions that he performed before being declared his election as void will be healthy and valid. Okay, this is sub-article 2. Sub-article 3: subject to the provisions of this constitution, Parliament may by law regulate any matter related to or connected with the election of a president or vice president. Okay, as far as the process of election of the president and vice president is concerned, Parliament has been provided power to regulate the process, how will the election will be conducted, and what are the means that will be taken into consideration. Parliament can do so, but by adoption of a law. Okay. Sub-article 4: the election of a person as president or vice president shall not be called in question on the ground of existence of any vacancy for whatever reason among the members of the electoral college existing in him. Okay, so if a particular person is appointed as a president or a vice president, and suppose there was some vacancy in electoral college, so as we discussed that in the case of vice president is the members of the parliament, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, who votes. Okay, so if there is a particular vacancy, see 2 or 3 MPs were not present on that day or they were ill, so by reason of that thing only, his election cannot be challenged. This is as simple as that. So this Article 71 was discussed by me in my last lecture also when I discussed president. I repeated that because it is very important. Okay, so as far as the post of president is concerned, vice president is concerned, We have completed it elaborately. So I hope you have understood the law. Kindly go through all these articles. You will have a very clear picture of it. Until then, thank you very much for bearing with me. And if you have any suggestion, please comment, like, and share. Please subscribe. Okay, I am getting many views, but there are not many people who are subscribing to my channel. So for the new updates, so I am uploading videos every other day. So please subscribe to my channel so that you can get a notification of it. Thank you.